A breaking update, and this is once again Donald Trump speaking on tariffs, where seems to be sharpening his attack on India's trade policies, accusing New Delhi of imposing some of the steepest tariffs in the world and calling the long-standing economic relationship between the two countries as one-sided. Now, speaking from the Oval Office, Donald Trump says that we get along with India very well, but for many years it was a one-sided relationship, and since now have come along, and because of the power that we have with us, India was charging us tremendous tariffs, about the highest in the world, and therefore we weren't doing much business with India, but now they're doing business with us because we weren't charging them foolishly. Now, when it comes to tariffs and his trade relations with India, a question was asked whether he would withdraw the tariffs. That has been the steepest 50% hike that has been leveled on India. Here is what the president says.
We get along with India very well, but India has, you have to understand, for many years it was a one-sided relationship. Only now, since I came along, and because of the power that we have with tariffs, India was charging us tremendous tariffs, about the highest in the world. They were about the highest in the world, number one. And we therefore weren't doing much business with India, but they were doing business with us because we weren't charging them foolishly. We weren't charging them. So they would send in massive, everything they made, they'd send it in, pour it into our country. Therefore, it wouldn't be made here, which is a negative. But we would not send in anything because they were charging us 100% tariffs. And, I'll give you an example. Harley-Davidson. Harley-Davidson couldn't sell into India. There was a 200% tariff on a motorcycle. So what happens? Harley-Davidson went to India and built a motorcycle plant. And now they don't have to pay tariffs. Same thing as us. So what we're doing is literally thousands of companies are coming into the U.S., car companies, AI, but, more traditionally car companies. We have so many car company factories under construction or being designed right now. And they're coming from China, they're coming from Mexico, I must tell you, and they're coming from Canada. A lot of them coming from Canada. But they're coming into our country because they want to build here. And they want to build here for two reasons. Number one, they'd like to be here. And number two, the tariffs are protecting them. And number three, they want to avoid paying tariffs. When they build their cars here, they don't have any tariffs to pay. When you build here, you don't have any tariffs.
Well, let's get a word from Srinjoy, who's connected with us. Srinjoy, good morning. Reversing the trend is something what Donald Trump expects to do that with India, because he's arguing that his administration's trade policies, including the imposition of steep reciprocal tariffs, were beginning to show the effect.
Whatever the U.S. President Donald Trump says is usually a version of the truth. And in this case, it's exactly the same. Now, he says that trade was very one-sided with India. Now, yes, there is a marginal trade deficit as far as India and U.S. is concerned. Look at the trade deficit with China. It's like $300 billion annually. With India, it's much, much smaller. Point two, the fact that India also, apart from trade, buys enormous amounts of defense equipment from America. Whether it's the C-130, whether it's the C-17, these are both planes, whether it's the Apache and the Chinook, which are helicopters, whether it's the M777 artillery for the Army, whether it's the Predators, and that's like a $3 billion deal for the Army, Navy, Air Force. So that's a lot of weapons and a lot of money. Now, if you add that up, it comes to definitely reducing the U.S. trade deficit by a huge margin. The deficit becomes that much smaller if you include defense purchases. And more stuff is coming in. P-8 type planes are coming, the Strikers may be coming. So as a result, what President Trump has said is actually the truth, but a version of the truth.
But, Srinjoy, how do we understand what exactly is the real reason behind, imposing these tariffs? Is it because what they have been calling it as unfair trade practices with India, one-sided, provocative statements that has been coming in from Donald Trump and his aides as well, labeling the war between Russia and Ukraine as Modi's war? We've seen series of such controversial statements being made. Or is it about when it comes to the president claiming that there is unfair tariff structures that were pushing companies to set up production outside the U.S.? What do you believe is the real reason behind the steep tariff?
One general view here is that these tariffs are a result of the fact that the Indian side quite rightly did not acknowledge any impact that the U.S. president may have had in reducing Operation Sindoor to just 4 days. Now he believes that he averted nuclear war. Now, while India and Pakistan have nuclear weapons, the fact that the war ended only because the Pakistani DGMO called his counterpart, Lieutenant General Rajiv Ghai. Now, that is something he hasn't been able to accept.
Did that inflame the situation? Because we didn't give Donald Trump the credit that he was boasting of averting a potential nuclear war between India and Pakistan. But however, looking at the current situation on the sidelines of the SU, it is also important to see how the Pakistani Prime Minister actually was asking Putin to hold and have better relations like Russia has with India, to have similar good relations with Pakistan as well. Please do stay on with us, Srinjoy, because now we talk about the India factor.